Good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Okay, guys, welcome back. So I'm going to be addressing this video to Vitalik Buterin in the Ethereum community. I want to lay out the case for why the ICP Ethereum model is going to be the most optimal model for the future of Web3 applications. I just need to go through and explain the dependency problem first. But the ICP Ethereum model solves the dependency problem and offers users a true end-to-end on-chain solution that really delivers on the promises of Web3. Read, write, own. Now, Ethereum's been out for roughly 10 years at this point, and any given Ethereum-based application today likely has a host of outside dependencies tied into their application. I'm simply going to be making the case that as Ethereum can continue serving the exact same functions it's serving right now, but ICP can replace a lot of those outside dependencies, and it will give the users an overwhelmingly more secure model that gives them real end-to-end ownership. Now, before I go any further, I want to go over this post from Vitalik back in January discussing this very issue. Dependency minimalism, writing software that deliberately tries to have as few dependencies as practical, is a really underrated virtue, in my opinion. Every single dependency is a risk that something will go wrong during someone's installation process. Installing projects with hundreds of dependencies and walking through errors can be incredibly frustrating. So let's unpack this a little bit more. With current Web3 applications, what we've seen over the last few years is they are using what I would call the hybrid model. This is where certain parts of the application are on-chain and other parts are off-chain. For instance, many Web3 apps still use Big Tech Cloud for computation and data storage because the layer one itself is not capable of handling that amount of computation or data storage on-chain. In addition to Big Tech Cloud is one dependency. Most Web3 applications also need Oracle services because layer ones are isolated networks and can't push data out or pull data in, so they need Oracle services to manage the flow of data. So you can already see with the hybrid model, it's designed to have a lot of dependencies because it's still using Web2 architecture at its core, and dependencies are inherent to Web2 architecture in its current form. And on top of cloud providers and Oracle services, you also have numerous other systems that can be tied into any given web-based application or Web3-based application. For instance, any given application may also need a database management system, firewall, and cybersecurity systems. On ICP, all of this is gone. You don't need firewalls and cybersecurity systems because software systems run end-to-end on-chain and don't need firewalls or cybersecurity. And right now, the cybersecurity problem is currently around 10 trillion. On top of these other systems, oftentimes you see they need third-party bridges, identity authentication or verification, maybe a content delivery network, and any number of other systems needed to offer the desired functionality for that application or use case. And to Vitalik's post, the more dependencies you have, the more likely something will go wrong. And most of the time, these software systems are owned and controlled by other centralized companies. So how does ICP solve this problem? ICP has what I would call an embedded system architecture, where Web 2 uses an integrated system architecture with numerous software systems tied into any one given application, all communicating via API calls. So on ICP, all software systems run in canisters. Think of canisters as general purpose programmable clouds that each user owns because it's all on chain, and canisters can be anything. They can be a website, a game, a social app, cloud storage, whatever you want. And it's all on chain and you own it. Canisters don't need 6 or 7 different external software systems tied into it because of ICP's embedded system architecture. There's an embedded payment system with instant settlement on ICP. ICP has an embedded identity system and a solution for verifiable credentials, which will likely become a web standard at some point in the future. On-chain governance at the application and at the network level. So you have orthogonal persistence, which fixes the problem of application code and application data being separate, which is a problem of Web 2, which is why we have such a big data architecture with so many different types of database management systems. But all of that is tied in together on ICP, and you don't need external database management systems. Security, you don't need firewalls or anti-intrusion or any type of cybersecurity systems. Chain key, no need for third-party bridges because ICP can integrate natively at the network level with other layer ones like Ethereum and like Bitcoin. And read write to the Ethereum blockchain. They're going to have a bidirectional integration between Ethereum smart contracts and ICP canisters after the integration is complete. Also, storage and computation, all of that is happening on chain. So you don't need these other cloud providers like Big Tech Cloud or other third-party cloud providers. And artificial intelligence, AI models running on chain that the users own. On the Web 2 model, you need other software systems, oftentimes owned and controlled by other centralized companies, to offer this amount of functionality. And if you just look at the implications here, when it comes to cybercrime alone, we just saw a $1.5 billion exploit. And I'm going to read off the preliminary conclusions from the team that investigated this exploit. Based on the investigation, results from the machines of Bybit signers and the cached malicious JavaScript payload found on the Wayback Machine, we strongly conclude that the AWS S3 or CloudFront account API key of safe.global, was likely leaked or compromised. And so the whole idea and concept around Web3 was to get away from all the problems of Web2. And even after 10 years, we're still dealing with many of these same problems. And I'm trying to make the case that the ICP Ethereum model is the solution for all of this. And I want to go over some general misconceptions about ICP. ICP is not a layer one in the traditional sense or at all, in my opinion. Its functionality aligns more so with a cloud provider, AWS, Google Cloud, so on and so forth. ICP does have a blockchain component, but it's a cloud provider first, and it can handle large amounts of computation and store large amounts of data on chain because it's not like traditional layer ones that struggle to store a photo on chain affordably. Ethereum or Ethereum apps would not be losing anything by using ICP. They would just be pivoting to a more secure software stack that's fully integrated with Ethereum at the network level through ChainKey. And this fully delivers on the promises of Web3, read, write, own. On most Ethereum-based applications today, or Solana-based applications, or Avalanche-based most of the users we still don't own our own data. The concept of not your keys, not your crypto also applies to data. Not your keys, not your data. The hybrid model does not deliver on the promises of Web3. It inherits way too many problems of Web2, like cybercrime, and it's simply not suited for the future of Web3 applications. There's going to continue to be problems with wallet exploits, with scaling issues, with overall complexity, with security, and with general adoption, as long as we're still inheriting the problems of Web 2 while we're trying to sell the Web 3 idea. Why this makes sense. Ethereum can continue doing exactly what it's doing. And Ethereum is already using other systems, or Ethereum-based applications are already using outside dependencies for their Ethereum-based applications. I'm simply suggesting that this is the more optimal stack and one that can offer a true Web3 model for the users. Fewer dependencies, just ICP and Ethereum, all on chain. Read, write, own. It's the most secure model and software stack, and it's the model that has the least amount of dependencies, to Vitalik's point from January. For any given project, this will likely be more cost-effective over time because you eliminate the cybersecurity risk. And AI will be able to automate so many additional tasks on ICP without manual intervention because the software stack is simplified. In general, Web 2 is not Web 3. It's been 10 years since launch, and I do think it's time for the public conversation to start moving forward about true end-to-end on-chain solutions. Not your keys, not your data, and it's the exact same concept with AI. ICP has just started rolling out different AI applications, but on ICP, you will be able to own your own AI model, just like you'll be able to own your own data. And with the Ethereum ICP model, it offers a perfect world computer design and model and functionality for the users. Over time, the end-to-end on-chain model, because it's being built up, it's a ground up build out of the new web. It is going to take time for certain use cases to make more sense on ICP, but numerous use cases already make sense on ICP today. And I do think it would be worthwhile for Ethereum-based projects and the Ethereum community to start looking at this model as a potential solution for the future. If you feel like things are stalling with Ethereum, if you feel like there's scaling issues and the different initiatives that are being pursued are not the big picture solution, I would strongly encourage looking at the ICP Ethereum model because it truly solves for all the problems that I've seen with Web3 applications over the last few years. And just to wrap this up, Vitalik was asked about Ethereum competitors a number of years ago at some small conference, and the only thing he mentioned was ICP and DEPENDENCY, and he described ICP as an aspirational sister network. That's all I have for this video. I just wanted to lay out the case for why I thought the ICP Ethereum model was going to be the best model for the future, and I would greatly appreciate any feedback from anybody in the Ethereum community, any questions, or anything, because I think this is the path forward, and I think this can fully deliver on the world computer vision. I'd like to thank the Cloud Foundation for sponsoring this video, and I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in today. This was not financial advice. Please do your own research and make your own decisions. Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Have a good day. I will see you in the next video.